A lot of you listening to me right here, right now, you're not part of the club either. And what I realized with the club is what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of their club. That pisses them off. What club am I talking about? I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers.
Diddy. Yeah. There's a lot of crazy things that's going on with this story, Diddy, right? I mean, a lot of people are calling him the Epstein of the music, the Hollywood world, the business, what do you call it? The entertainment world. I'll read this story and I want to kind of get your thoughts on this here.
Celebrities going to be shook. He had politicians in there. He had princes in there.
Uh-oh.
He also had a couple of preachers in there.
Oh, damn. Is he talking about who I think he's talking about?
You think?
Is he?
Hallelujah.
Cat Williams commented on that.
Cat Williams definitely brought him on. A preacher?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what preacher that is, right?
Ice Cube's been spilling some serious tea about how Beyonce and Jay-Z covered up for Diddy's mess for years. According to Q, Diddy, who's been a huge figure in the music business, has had some shady dealings and drama hidden by none other than Queen Bey. And Jay-Z Cub's revelations include stories about long-standing rivalries, personal tensions, and power plays among these hip-hop giants.
What's cracking? It's your homie Ice Cube. Just wanted to address a few things. Everybody been checking out the internet. My man Cat Williams. First of all, I just want to say, we shot that movie over 20 years ago. So, people have different perspectives and it's been a long time. I also want to say, every comedian that I've worked with, every comedian that I've put in a movie, I only put them in the movie because I thought they was funny. I thought they was perfect for the part. I tried to put them in a position to win. That's what it's all about, I look at from, Chris Tucker and Bernie Mac and Mike Epps, Cat Williams, Ricky Smiley, Michael Blackson, Cedric, Kevin Hart. All these guys I know are funny as hell. I didn't discover them. They were doing their stand-up or doing their thing, and I knew that they were great and that they could act, and that if I have an opportunity, I was gonna give them an opportunity. To me, that's what it's all about. As far as specific things, Cat was 100 on a few things. Most of what he was saying, a couple of things, I just want to clarify. When we bring in a new, comedian, we do have them try out for different roles. So Ricky did give Money Mike a shot. But when we saw him and, we kind of saw how he moved and how he was, auditioning, we decided that he would be a better, Santa Claus, which was, to me, the perfect casting. When we saw Mike, damn, I call him Money Mike. When we saw Cat, when I saw him, I just knew that he was perfect for Money Mike. And Cat, said he wrote his role, which, the role was written, but he enhanced it. This is why Cat was so dope in the movie. Money Mike had a small role, about as big as the Santa Claus role, but when we start filming, he was giving us such magic that we kept expanding his role and giving him more to do because he was on point. when we shoot these movies, for one, the scripts are fire, or they wouldn't even do it. The scripts are laugh out funny. But we shoot the script, and once we get what we need from the script, we let the comedians ad-lib, riff, play with the words, do their thing. We give them a take where they can, or 2, 3 takes where they can go off and do what they feel. Sometimes it makes the movie, sometimes it don't. When somebody gives you jewels, you want to try to make sure that makes the movie. So in the movie, there's second thing I want to clear up. I would never shoot a rape scene in a movie, especially like Friday, where you actually see this happening on camera. That ain't my style. If you check out any of my movies, they not raunchy. We did a movie called Players Club where the subject matter was a little raunchy, but for the most part, even that, we left it to your imagination. So the only reason that kind of stuff was in the movie is because you have 3 villains in Friday After Next. You have Santa Claus stealing presents. You have Damon, just got out of prison, sweating. Craig and Diddy for the rent money. And then you have Money Mike, a pimp that treats his woman, like a property. So Craig is always fighting the villains in the movie, from the Joker Brothers to Debo. And so we already had Craig fighting Santa Claus. And the only real way to get rid of the other 2 villains was to have them go against each other. And the plier joke was always in the script. It was never, we would never ever show that. That's not my style if you look at any of my movies. So, that was never a discussion. We, at that point in everybody's career, we would listen to a certain extent, but we wasn't gonna change the movie for any actor. We do what we feel, and if it was a rape scene, it would have been in the movie. There was no reason not to shoot it. But that's not my style. I don't even like that kind of shit in movies, on camera. And so, that was, to me, a little discrepancy there. Cat, he wrote a lot of his part because, like I said, he was giving us jewels, so we were keeping the camera rolling. He was coming off the dome. He was coming prepared every day to steal the show. That was his mission. And, that's what he did, with the movie. And it launched his career, And I'm proud of the movie. I'm proud of all the guys who've, come through, a Q Vision production and went on to do bigger and better things. And look, a lot of people are talking about pay and how much they was paid on these movies that were extremely low budget. Most of these guys work a couple of days, and when you're doing a movie, there's over 100 people working on the movie that need to get paid. Most of them got to get paid every day. And there's pre-production and post-production. Even after you finish with the actors, you got to pay editors and sound people. And my movies are all about quality, so most of the money go up on the screen. I'm not giving you no bullshit. I'm not giving you no low budget, shit you can laugh at because it's so cheap. So, we try to put all the money on the screen. And so any actor that's mad at what they got paid, just look at what you was doing. Look at where your career was at the time. take a look at where it is now. And Friday has something to do with that, I believe. And I put a lot of people in movies, but they ain't never put me in a movie. So you can take that for what it's worth, you know what I'm saying? I've given a lot of these guys opportunities. And I still act, so I'm waiting for a call. I ain't got to produce everything or write everything. I got love for all the comedians that I've worked with. Got, much love for Cat. He spoke up for me a lot. And I just wanted to be clear and clarify some things. And shit, man. I hope y'all have a good 2024.
Well, we got to see what Cat Williams said about the matter.
We were shooting it. He told everybody, it should have been my role. Everybody on the scene. Why do you think no cast member has ever said anything?
He couldn't have played that role like you. I thought he was...
Sir, no one... Why no... He was with KD? He beat up Terry Crews? Why nobody know this story? You talking about in Hollywood, they switched off roles. You take this and he... What? So Ricky Smiley knows this. And I don't know why he would lose a child and come on the air and start lying. That's why people believe in rituals right there. It's because, well, why would he lie? I don't know why liars lie. But I can tell you this. We auditioned in Los Angeles. He was so egregious, not now, then he was so egregious that, and Hollywood has never heard this in 100 years. He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did. It's in my contract.
Why would you put that in your contract, Cat?
That's where he's a believable actor.
Excuse the soul out of me.
Thank y'all for this opportunity, Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Let's just get into this. The whole internet going crazy. Comments that Cat Williams made. Whatever. I can't speak on behalf of the other comedians, but the only thing I can speak for is myself. Cat made some comments on Shannon Sharp's show about when I was on Shannon Sharp, was telling him the story of some of the behind the scenes from Friday After Next. Let's start with that. When I went out there, let's just go back. In 2000, I was the host of BET Comic View and in the season 2004. I also worked on this show called Live from LA. That was my first job with BET. And that's where I met Ice Cube, if I'm not mistaken. And Ice Cube was like, hey man, I like your work. I want to do some stuff with you. I want to put you in some movies. And Ice Cube started putting me in movies, which really helped my career. I was in All About the Benjamins, of course, when they changed the ending of it, that part didn't make any sense. But then he put me in Friday After Next. And just for clarification, I went out to audition for Friday After Next as Money Mike, not the Santa Claus. And that is the honest God truth. I had no reason to go on there and to go on Shannon Sharp's show and lie about any of that. That's what I auditioned for, was Money Mike. And I guess the producers, Cube and everybody saw something different. And, I think that Money Mike character, Special K, was going to come off as kind of like,
just, a guy who was hanging around in the, strip mall who was just kind of being annoying and almost like a crackhead type of character that was
right. So I guess when Cat Williams did it, they added the whole pimp twist to that character, which was actually a better decision and made it funnier. Cause ain't no way in the hell I could have executed that role like that. And I'm glad that they made that decision and they put me in a Santa Claus role, which was actually perfect. So when I got back to LA, they said, hey, your role has changed. You're going to be the Santa Claus. And here's the Santa Claus suit. Put it on, and here's your lines. Sat in the trailer, went over the lines, went over my stuff with Cube, and the rest is history. Had no reason. I just want to clarify that. Had no reason to lie about that. As a matter of fact, my manager at the time, Gary Abdo, who is still one of my best friends, who also helped start my career, and he's the owner of the Atlanta Comedy Theater in Atlanta. We got him on the phone just to clarify. Gary Abdo, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. How are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm good, man. Just for clarification, you was my manager at the time. We went to LA together, for the audition. Cube wanted to see us. What is your version?
Yeah, well, we're old, and that was 23 years ago. So, our memories are what our memories are. You went out, you auditioned, they wanted you to play Money Mike. That was the sides that they had sent. The sides are the portion of the script for the part they want you to play. Those were the sides they sent. That was the audition you did. They said, great, we want you to play this role. My recollection is you had to go back and read for the execs from the studio one final time. And the night before that, we got different sides and they said, no, we want you to play this role. And we didn't understand it. We really were under the impression, well, you had the role as Money Mike, but then all of a sudden they switched it up. Now we understand why. Cat came in, blew them away. He's an incredible performer. That was probably one of the most iconic breakout parts in movie history. I mean, that was literally Cat's first movie. Friday was not Chris Tucker's first movie. Next Friday was not Mike Epps' first movie. For that to have been Cat Williams' first movie, and he exploded. I mean, that literally made him an iconic touring comedian, one of the biggest to do it in this generation. And, the rest, as they say, was history. But, yeah, absolutely, without a doubt, you were auditioning for Money Mike. We were told you had the role, and then that switched up overnight.
And I'm glad I ended up being the Santa Claus, because that role was iconic and not as funny as his. I like the pimp. I personally like the pimp better, but the Santa Claus role was just perfect for me. At the time, I was skinny and could run fast, so.
And you could squeeze over that gate. So, yeah, that was the...
I just wanted to clarify that. And then there was no contract ever that in agreement with the first Sunday movie, because that was a whole different production directed by who just directed my Netflix special, David E. Talbert, about me playing Bernice Jenkins. That's something that David called me personally. David and Lynn are fans and have been fans of my work for a long time. And it was like, we want you to play Bernice Jenkins, and, and here you go. And that's what happened. And I went out there and shot that in one day, me and Red Grant. And that was a lot of fun. Right. And it had nothing to do with, Cat Williams' contract, or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I respect Cat. Definitely disappointed that, you have to get on the air and explain something like this, but that's the truth, and I don't know what else to say. So there it is.
There's not much else to say. It's indisputable that Cat played that role, killed it, built an entire career out of that one role that all of us look at and go, wow, that's absolutely amazing. But it's also indisputable. You were auditioning for Money Mike. We were told you had the role. You just had to read one more time, and then that switched up.
And the crazy thing about it is, we had a conversation, when it came out. He said a lot of this 12 years ago, and we had a conversation because I was on 14th Street in Atlanta, right by the Four Seasons Hotel. And I was driving down the street with my granddad in the car, and I saw Cat Williams going across the street on 14th Street. And I said, Cat, what's up? Whatever. I just wanted to make sure we was good. He said, come over and have a cup of coffee with me, because he was walking over to Starbucks. And I went over and he went in there and got the coffee. We was chopping it up or whatever. Just didn't even really talk about the issue or whatever. I said, hey man, I want you to come out and say hello to my granddad. My granddad is a fan. He came out to the truck. I'll never forget, I was in my Ford F-150 and I came out and spoke to my granddad. He hugged my granddad and wished him well. My granddad was like, keep doing what you're doing, young man. My granddad was living at the time. It was just me and my granddaddy in the truck. and we dapped it up, and that was it. I mean, that was it. And I thought that we were good. I didn't know that we had any issues. And if there are any issues or if there's anything that I've done, not only to Cat Williams, to anybody, I apologize, and I'm not perfect. I made mistakes, but I did. You know, that's just the honest to God truth. And I did audition for what I auditioned for. And I'm glad that the producers made that decision. And let me address all of the things with Gary. You can help me out with this, because, you know, comedy greats like Flip Wilson played Geraldine. Richard Pryor played some roles on his show. Jamie Foxx played Wanda. Martin played Shanae. I did. Bernice Jenkins, Tyler Perry did. Madea. It's a lot of comics and a lot of comedy greats that did characters for the sake of funny, for entertainment, for the sake of the laugh. And it has nothing to do with nobody's comfortable in the role. Nobody wants to put on a damn dress or comfortable in it, you know. That has nothing to do with my manhood being lessened for trying to play a role and trying to put food on the table for my family. Because
it's a prop. It's nothing more than a prop. It's nothing more than a way to get a laugh. I mean, back in, you know, Shakespeare's time, there were no females playing females' role. Every female role was played by a man. You know, it's just part of an art form. It's part of what makes it funny. You bring the funny to it. I wish that I'm sure you remember. People don't know about this. The pilot that you shot for the Kings of Comedy TV show, Bernice Jenkins had a whole sketch with Madea.
Yeah, I did a sketch with Madea, me, Earthquake, Tyler Perry, Niecy Nash. We did a thing called The Pew. It's supposed to be like The View, but it was a church-based version of The View, and it was just comedy great to see Bernice Jenkins, the character, and Madea. And I started off doing Bernice Jenkins doing prank phone calls on the Buck Wild Morning Show in Birmingham, which spinned into, hey, I think you should do a character. This would be a great character for this role. So we were all in our 30s, late 20s, doing what we had to do in order to be successful. Now that we are older, I'm comfortable in my job in radio. I'm comfortable in the roles that I get and the things that I get to do. And I just finished a phenomenal comedy special. So the statement about Ricky Smiley is not funny, I've been sold out since 97.
That part.
Every single show I have done since 97, maybe not big arenas, but I pack up those theaters and have to add shows in comedy clubs. And between radio and all of that and raising a family, I'm comfortable with. What makes me sad, I don't like the way that made my kids feel. And that's why I'm not gonna, go after him, because he has kids and family members and nieces and nephews also, and it hurts our family members and people that do love us when we say hurtful things about each other. So we want to wish Cat Williams the best or whatever. It ain't nothing but love over here just because we don't agree. Arnez J and I had beef for about 20 years, and I end up sitting next to him on a plane. And when I saw him, I couldn't do nothing but grab him and hug him. And we text each other all day on Christmas Day. It feel like we trying to make up for lost time. Two talented people that actually love each other. And Special K, Cat Williams got some comedy dates coming up. He's going to be in Birmingham. Cat Williams is coming to Huntsville. I want y'all to go out and support him. I want y'all to pack those damn theaters and show nothing but unconditional love to him and to any comic that come into our space, Birmingham, Huntsville. That's like my area or whatever, where I grew up or whatever. K, you got the dates?
Yeah, you got January 12th, Cedar Park, Texas. The 14th, Estero, Florida. The 19th, Huntsville, Alabama. The 26th of January, Tupelo, Mississippi. Y'all go ahead and get on Ticketmaster. Get them tickets.
Yeah, make sure y'all go out and see Cat Williams and go out and support him, man. It's all love over here because it's enough money out here for everybody.
Okay, so Ricky Smiley took the high road right there, man. I appreciate him. At the end of the day, thank you to everybody that contributed to that classic Friday movie, man. But
Anyways, that was a good run for some fun. Let's get back to Diddy, the king of dolls and lord of the toy shops. Ice Cube has been blasting Jay-Z for covering up for Diddy, and it makes hella sense. People see that straight after the home raids, the feds released the Diddy clip with Cassie, but how did they get it? Ice Cube points the fingers at Jay-Z. We don't know why he turned on his homeboy, but we know he did. That backs up a story that Gene Deal has been telling, and everyone is listening carefully to what Gene Deal has been saying. Let's check what Patrick and his board had to say about that.
Diddy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crazy things that's going on with this story, Diddy, right? I mean, a lot of people are calling him the Epstein of the music, the Hollywood world, the business, what do you call it, the entertainment world. I'll read this story, and I want to kind of get your thoughts on this here. So here's a story. Sean Diddy Combs' former bodyguard claims music mogul had tapes of politicians and princes out there. And we'll play this clip in a minute. Gene Deal, who was present the night before Notorious B.I.G. Biggie was fatally shot in 1997, made the sensational comments during an interview with Art of Dialogue YouTube channel. And here's what he had to say. Go for it, Rob.
After finding out he was recording everything.
But not only celebrities, I don't think it's only celebrities going to be shook. He had politicians in there. He had princes in there.
Uh-oh.
He also had a couple of preachers in there.
Oh, damn.
Is he talking about who I think he's talking about?
You think?
Is he?
Hallelujah.
Cat Williams commented on that.
Williams definitely brought him on.
A preacher?
Yeah. You know what preacher that is?
I don't.
Okay. You don't know the preacher that was seen with Diddy at one of the parties that Cat Williams says, I don't care whether you're TD Jakes or Diddy.
Oh, yeah. So he was the truth coming out in 2024.
Listen, again, this is allegedly. That's what he's saying. Your thoughts on this story here?
So it wasn't just this guy that was saying it. Lil Rod, the former producer, filed the lawsuit, and he said every room in Diddy's mansions were wired with cameras. And he had some of the footage, he had some of the pictures, and he displayed those in the lawsuit that came out. And this was used for blackmail material. They'd bring in these people. A lot of these people were also aspiring young artists in the music industry. And then these parties were sponsored by Motown Records CEO, Universal Records CEO. This goes all the way to the top. And so you get these people in compromising situations. The drinks were laced. The videotapes were hot. And then at the end of the day, you wake up the next morning, what did I do? And then they have compromising material on you. And then they can guide your career. They could kill your career, but they got you. And it wasn't just people in the music business. As you said, there were athletes, there were celebrities, there were politicians, people from the royal family.
Pause. That's just great. Diddy is the man of the papers. 50 Cent sitting in the corner and saying, I wish I had his phone number. Maybe he can hook me up with my math class teacher's film and use it to get my son's grades up.
And we were also told by the former bodyguard that Diddy was an FBI informant. Whoa. So he was a snitch and was feeding information to the feds. And we don't know what that means. We haven't been able to confirm it, but even Little Rod said it's not just like Epstein. It could be worse than Jeffrey Epstein.
Now, let me ask you this. When you're seeing something like that, do you think, you know how somebody is making money for you, you can't lose them because they're still making money for you, right? So, for example, like an athlete, LeBron James, he's still getting a lot of endorsements. He's still making a lot of money. You got to make sure you protect that asset because that guy's making you a lot of money. I think the number one person right now that you have to protect in music is Taylor Swift. You have to protect her. It's a big insurance policy. She's young. She's going to be around for a long time to come. The concerts, the money making, the $5 billion, the tours, all that stuff. Nothing can go wrong with her because if God forbid something happens, you're making money off her.
You don't take Taylor to a Diddy party.
Oh, yeah.
You don't go anywhere near a freak-off party.
That's right. So here's where I'm going with this. Do you think Diddy's at a phase that, how do you make money off Diddy today? Because what's Diddy doing today? He's not performing. So is it more that you protect Diddy because the people that he knows that he can destroy their lives, that you kind of like have to keep him quiet? Or do you have to find a way to eliminate him, kind of like they try to eliminate this guy named Jeffrey?
I don't know if he was being eliminated by the FBI or even by the Universal Records executives, what happened was Cassie filed this lawsuit. He settled in about 48 hours.
Very fast.
So then everybody goes, oh, what? Diddy settling?
Yeah. Yeah.
So everybody starts filing. And so Lil Rod files some real graphic, nasty stuff. We're talking minors, sex trafficking, ecstasy and the alcohol. And then all hell blows loose. And that's when the feds come in and raid. And they go right to the camera system and pull all the servers out. And they, I believe, arrested the drug mule. And so they're closing in. They're going to build a case. And look, is this something that's coming down at the highest level? I have no idea. But I know Diddy's life is about to blow up. And there's really no way to get out of this.
And I want to say this, and Vinny, I want to go to you because Ashton Kutcher is seen as he prepares to be subpoenaed on Diddy's case. That's one. Next one, Sean Diddy Combs' ex Cassie, that he paid off, I think $30 million, whatever the number is, cooperating with federal investigations amid the sex trafficking probe.
That's bad.
That's very bad,
That's
right?
bad.
So next one, Sean Diddy Combs still continues carefree in Miami. This is a story from yesterday. Lifestyle by smoking and drinking after federal raids. Sean Diddy Combs' youngest son, Christian King, 25, is now sued. So it's like it isn't one thing, it's another thing constantly popping up. Vinny,
but just from my point of view, though, he's in Miami, he's riding bikes, he's taking photos. He seems as if he doesn't have a care in the world. To me, somebody from the outside looking in, it seems like they were like, hey, listen, especially with the Cassie thing, that thing blew the top off of everything. We have to go in there. You don't be there. We're going to make the play. We're going to grab all the footage and everything. I think people are going to fall. Nothing is going to happen to him. He's going to be protected. But they've been using Diddy for how long, Jesse? From the politicians, from Maxine Waters?
So back in 2004, he launched Vote or Die.
Yep.
So he was for Kerry. Then he was for Obama.
Yep.
Then it was for Hillary. And then he's for Biden. So he has been the community organizer for the Democratic Party in the streets for about 20 years. He's a valuable asset.
Big time. Big time. And they gave, like, he started Revolt through
Maxine
Waters.
Gave him a cut in order for that merger to go through. She said, my guy has to get a piece of the pie.
So if you think about it, he's obviously in with these higher up politicians. You're in there recording all these people and having all this dirt, like they say with Epstein was working for Mossad, or God knows who he was working for. Who knows who Diddy was? Like, he's not recording all these people, all these princes, just to have like footage for when he's older to show to his kids. This is a coordinated thing, and I think the Cassie thing blew the top off. And now they're like, we have to go in and make sure nothing is incriminating for us, or else he does.
Right, because when they went in and raided Epstein's mansions, we never saw any of that footage.
Not 1 minute.
Only Ghislaine Maxwell went down.
Bingo.
They never got anybody else, and he had tapes in Little St. James. He had tapes in the Upper East Side. He had tapes in New Mexico and Palm Beach. We never heard anything else about that.
Exactly.
Jesse, you said something a little bit earlier that I was like, whoa, because he's been called the Black Epstein.
Yeah.
You said earlier that this could even be worse than Epstein. How do you feel about that? Like, that's a pretty shocking statement.
That's what Lil Rod alleges in the lawsuit.
But you've covered this. How do you stand on?
I don't know if he's talking about the violence towards women, or the age or the age factor of the minors, or the drug factor. Epstein, there was not a lot of drugs. This case has drugs. This case has lots of narcotics. If you read the filings, we're talking meth, cocaine, PCP, ecstasy.
The stuff in the drink to make you pass out so you don't remember whatever.
Roofies.
Rohypnol.
Yeah, everybody was getting roofie. And apparently everybody, there was even conversations of, I just saw another video where Diddy is giving a drink to Justin Bieber. And we keep seeing videos with him and Justin Bieber. And like they're making sure that Justin Bieber's drinking it. And there's another cut of him in the party. And Justin Bieber just looks like a little bit off.
What age was he at the time?
Does it really matter at that point? Justin Bieber's now just, I mean, he was young with blonde hair. Like he was like, what, 17, 18?
Did you see this video?
Yo,
Watch him pat him down.
Look, this is
checking
recently.
for potential
Look, he's touching
wires.
He's touching his chest. He's touching his chest. Make sure you don't have a wire on you. Look at that.
I got a message. Weird. I'm trying to see. I'm not going to reveal the source, but I got a message from a guy saying that some of this has to do with that drink company,
Diageo.
Diageo. That is, if you look at, can you type in what Diageo's market cap is?
They're massive.
Type in Diageo market cap. Right. Yeah, right there. If you just type in Diageo market cap, $81 billion. And what this insider said to me, just purely on what could happen, it's given. I'm not giving a source. It
Speculation.
Could be speculation. He said they owe him $2 billion, and he said it could be the fact that they are doing this to not have to pay him $2 billion. Now, can you just type in? Maybe type in. Diageo owes Diddy $2 billion. See if anything like that comes up. Diageo owes Diddy $2 billion. That's a lot of money. Go to news. Can you go just to news at the top? Let's see what stories pop up. Can you go a little? Okay. Diddy Diageo in decline of Sean Combs' business empire. Sean Diddy Combs dumped by Diageo, maker of Johnny Walker.
Diddy sues.
Sean Diddy and Combs to Diageo settle withdrawal lawsuit in case of Diageo racism. Okay. So there's something that's going on there that is, kind of ugly. And obviously the people that are saying that, they're supporters of him. So they're kind of like saying there's something going on that you guys are not seeing, right? It's another thing that you got to consider. What do you know about that?
Now hold up. Did I just hear supporters? Did he get supporters? Where are they from? Your wife's house club? Or what do you know to support Diddy after we saw him practice on her like he was going to be facing Tyson the next day?
Litigation between those two, and there's a racial charge there as well. And if they've settled, and I also heard Diddy double-cross them. So I don't really know what's going on at that level, but I do know that you said you don't think Diddy's going down. I disagree.
And why do you think that?
And I think if you have the feds go in there and seize everything in the house, phones, electronics, video cameras, and he has multiple civil suits in play, do you think Universal Records is going to take the fall? I don't think Universal Records is going to.
Do you think lesser players are? Because just think about the day that they raided, he wasn't there, and his jet flew with God knows what. He wasn't on it to a place that doesn't have any U.S. extradition. Maybe all the tapes and everything that was just like a delivery method. Because why else is he dancing and having a great time in the streets? He's not delusional.
Because it's great PR.
Yep. Well, let me ask you this. Exactly. Here's a question for all of you guys. Here's a question for. But Rob, can you run a poll on this? Who was more powerful and feared, Harvey Weinstein or Diddy? Put the poll. I'm curious to know what the audience will say. Again, hear me out. It's a very important question. Okay, think about this one before we answer. Process it. Ahead. Harvey Weinstein. Yep. One of the top 4 Godfathers, Hollywood controlled, huge, all of that stuff, the amount of power he had. And he was not a visible guy. He's a behind the closed door guy. Yep. Clintons, presidents, all that stuff. Or Diddy, music, hip hop, links of Biggie's death, Tupac's death, what he's done with all these girls, J-Lo, all these names that are tied to him. Who is a bigger man to fall?
To fall, you said to fear.
No, fear and fall, meaning like which one can that industry not afford to fall that they have to protect?
I think Diddy because of all because Weinstein was
Diddy over Weinstein.
Because I think Weinstein was movies and that, but Diddy now we're seeing was politics, presidents, musicians, elites. I think Diddy.
I think it's close. I think it's Weinstein, man. This guy,
Hollywood,
bro.
What do you
think?
The
fear is. I think there's a big difference in Hollywood.
But did he have anybody murdered? Did he have anybody killed? Diddy allegedly had not only 2 guys murdered, he's shooting people.
You know what the purpose of this question is? Who is more untouchable?
We'd love to hear what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like and don't miss another movie.